This elevator was beyond creepy. Over a dozen people crammed inside. An elderly man noticed the elevator passing floors without stopping, picking up speed instead of slowing down. He frantically hit the emergency stop button. Nothing. Everyone screamed in terror. The next second, the floor of the elevator ripped open and most of them plummeted into the void. A few managed to grab the handrails, but it only bought them a couple more seconds. The elevator smashed through the roof. No one survived. This wasn't the first incident. Earlier, a blind man had tried to go downstairs. The elevator doors suddenly opened and his guide dog started howling like crazy. He ignored it and stepped forward into nothing. In a panic, he grabbed onto his dog, but he was too heavy. They both tumbled down the elevator shaft. A security guard heard the commotion and rushed over. Just as he reached the door, the elevator rose on its own. He was about to radio it in when the doors opened again, revealing nothing but pitch black darkness. He shined his flashlight around and spotted the guide dog already dead. Without warning, the doors slammed shut on his head. His coworker rushed to pull him free, but only managed to tear off his jacket. The doors kept closing in. He thrashed in sheer terror. Then suddenly, they stopped. He shouted for his coworker to help, but before anyone could react, the elevator started descending. His coworker froze, collapsed to the ground, and watched helplessly as he was killed right in front of him. The elevator deaths made headlines. Under mounting pressure, the building management brought in our maintenance crew. We ran a full inspection, but found nothing wrong. My colleague and I recommended a complete overhaul, but management refused. The building sat in the heart of downtown, with tens of thousands of people riding the elevators daily. Shutting it down would cost a fortune, so the elevator went back into service. On reopening day, a group of pregnant women fresh from a yoga class walked into that very elevator. It suddenly plunged out of control, then jerked to a violent stop. Several of them slammed hard onto the floor. The alarm button didn't work. Their phones had no signal. Even from outside, no key could open the doors. The cramped, sweltering space was suffocating. The women were in agony. One of them went into labor. Her water had broken. Outside, a man grabbed an axe, ready to break down the doors. His wife was trapped inside. Just then, the doors slid open on their own, and the sound of a crying baby echoed from within. Everyone stood frozen in shock. We were called back afterward, but once again, we couldn't find anything wrong. Management ignored our objections and announced the elevator would remain in operation. Sometime later, two guys on rollerblades showed up in the building's parking garage. One of them couldn't brake in time and crashed into a car. When he looked up, the windshield wipers were standing straight up for no reason. Behind him, the elevator doors opened by themselves. A blinding flash of light shot out and he was sucked inside. Seconds later, the elevator reached the 86th floor. He was hurled out, smashing through the window, tearing through the safety net, and plummeting to the ground.